Okay. Could you introduce yourself and talk about when you served and how long?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm initial K, initial T, Tom Gregg, and I served in the U.S. Army from 1963 to 1965.
Okay. And you were the national commander of Kansas, right?
Well, I was the department or the state commander, yes. I had a great time, and I like to say I appreciate the young men and women who are serving today, that God bless you, be safe, and we are thinking about you and praying for you right now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your work.
Thank you. Okay. And start out talking a little bit about your service in the military.
Okay, my name is Maria Colon. I'm originally from California. I currently reside in Puerto Rico, and I'm a retired Marine Corps First Sergeant with a little over 25 years in service. And I'm also a veteran from the Iraqi Freedom, 2003.
So you were deployed in the early stages?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
We went to the invasion.
You must be pretty glad to see the outcome, because I know when we were in Iraq last July, I got back and everybody said, oh, when everybody goes back, the country's going to fall apart. It hasn't fallen apart.
No, it hasn't.
No,
it hasn't.
The reason is people like you, people that have been back there over and over and over again, doing the training, helping with the reconstruction. Would you agree with that from your personal experience?
Yes, I do agree with that.
Yeah. That's why you do what you do, we do what we do, because we need to get their stories out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also a wife of a Marine Corps veteran and a mother of a Marine Corps and Army veteran who was deployed 4 times already to Iraq.
Wow. A total military family.
Yes.
Well, thank them for their service, too. I thank them and you.
Thank you very much.
What got you involved with the American Legion initially?
Well, basically, I'm involved with the American Legion because we see a need to fight for our rights as veterans. You know, originally that's what the American Legion was established for, and we need to continue to fight because we haven't had this much of a need as we do now with our veterans coming back from the Afghanistan and Iraq. We need to be in the Legion to defend our rights as veterans.
But you wear 2 hats, kind of, right?
Yes.
You're on 2 sides. Talk about that.
Yes, I'm also a member of the Ladies Auxiliary, and the Lady Auxiliary we volunteer our time. We go into the clinics, we go into the classrooms, and we go out to the civilian community, you know, bringing awareness and the need, because American Legion doesn't only work for the veterans, we also work for the families of the veterans. You know, we also do provide services for them in claims compensation.
And what state are you based out of now?
I am in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. So
yes.
Are you a vice commander?
I am the commander of the largest post in Puerto Rico, Post 47, Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico.
Great. Okay, well, why don't you, I've do a little different, start out, give a shout out to people in your family that are in the military, or your whole family.
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to my son, Joseph Jean-Pierre, who is currently with the Army, the 25th, in Schofield Barracks. And a shout out to all the Marines active duty, you know, that I know there's a lot out there that were in when I was in, but I want to thank them for their service, and we're here to support them, always here to support them. You know, we retired, but really we didn't stop helping Marines and helping veterans.
So you haven't really retired?
No, we haven't retired. We're here for the long haul. You know, we did it for 25 years. We don't know any other way. You know, so we're here to continue working with our military because it's a life that we chose, and we continue to live that life.
And to the troops in Afghanistan right now?
The troops to Afghanistan, God bless you. You know, we know the struggles that you're having out there and the dangers that you're in. We just put God's blessing over them and hope they all come back home safe and sound to their families. And remember, there's always an American Legion there to help them when they return. They're not alone.
Thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Absolutely great. If you could introduce yourself, and we had talked a little bit, you were telling me about family members that have been in the military. After you introduce yourself, you could talk a little bit about that.
My name is Dubbie Buckler, and that's a nickname I've had since before I was born. My real name is Mary. I am the National Secretary, Executive Director of the American Legion Auxiliary. I work at National Headquarters in Indianapolis. My attraction to the American Legion Auxiliary is I'm the daughter of a World War II veteran, my late father, who was a major in the Army Air Corps, and my son is a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom, served in the Navy and did a tour over in Iraq. So what we're doing to preserve our own freedom and freedom around the world is very near and dear to my heart and always has been.
When did you get involved with the American Legion Auxiliary?
Well, actually, I guess I have to say I got involved when I was in high school because I was in Girl State, which is one of the premier programs of the American Legion Auxiliary, where it's a week-long leadership program for young girls to learn about government. It's an immersive learning program where you go in and you spend 1 week starting out as a member of a city, and over the course of the week you run for office and elect a governor, and then we put on Girls Nation, 2 senators from each state go to the nation's capital. So it's a wonderful program. So I can say that my introduction to the American Legion Auxiliary was when I was in high school.
That's great. I haven't heard it described like that either. So there might be a lot of young ladies listening to this that all they would do is go to the local American Legion Post, check it out, or go online.
Well, you can go to American Legion Auxiliary's website, alaforveterans.org. That's alaforveterans.org. And all the information about our programs are there. And, of course, Girl State is one of our premier programs. So we would encourage the young girls who are interested in learning more about government, interested in becoming leaders in the community and in government, to go there and check out that program and find out how to apply. Because it's a pretty elite program. By the time you get to Girls Nation, you truly are 1 in a million as far as being teenage girls in this country.
That's great. Do you all get involved in like care packages, writing letters, or do you all do some of that stuff?
Our auxiliary members do it all.
Okay.
We do everything possible to support our troops. Everything from helping with send-off ceremonies, welcome home ceremonies, care packages while they're over there, and helping care for our wounded warriors when they come back.
That's great. Thank you for what you do. Why don't you give a shout-out to your son?
Well, my son actually works for the American Legion now. He works in an office that is on the Lewis McChord Army Air Force Base out in Seattle, the Tacoma, Washington area. So, Brian, shout out to you. Thank you for your service, and to everyone who is over in Iraq and Afghanistan and all parts around the world that we don't often mention, including Kosovo and Korea and places all around the world where we have our troops still, and we don't often talk about that. So a shout out to all of them, and to my good friend Marilyn Morse, who just got back doing a tour in Afghanistan.
Great. Thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you for doing this. This is wonderful.
It's an honor.
Thank you.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Absolutely great. If you could introduce yourself, and I know you have family members that have been in the military, we'll start out talking about them.
Okay, my name is Kris Nelson. I'm the National President of the American Legion Auxiliary. My service is from my husband Terry from the Army, my father Art from the Navy, and my brother Rick from the Air Force.
Okay, now talk about how you got into the American Legion Women's Auxiliary. How long?
27 years. I joined when I married my husband, and I joined because of the programs that support our troops.
Okay. Talk about some of those programs.
The American Legion Auxiliary is to help the military veterans and their families. So our stress is to help the families of the military when they're activated. We're there to do anything to make life easier for the families.
Okay, and maybe women that are listening, their military spouse or wife, and how would they get in contact with you? I know you have a website, right?
We have a website. It's AmericanLegionAuxiliary.org. And we have a call to action because we've just pledged 6 million hours to help the families of our military to the Joining Forces campaign. Wow. So we need you.
So that's with Mrs. Obama and Mrs. Biden.
Right. That's right.
They're kind of leading the way with that.
Right. We promised $6 million before August 31st this year.
This year?
Right.
Okay, so this is a national campaign to
reach
out
out
to the families.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Because, as you know, there's a lot of troops with PTSD, traumatic brain
That's right.
injury,
and the families are the forgotten heroes of this war. So exactly. We need to help them. There's lots of programs to help the veterans. There's not many to help the families. So
you have these events once a year or more? Or?
We meet here once a year. We meet in a convention city once a year, and then we have regional meetings and state meetings annually.
And then you get elected, right? Pretty much
right.
All positions, most of them are elected, right?
They're elected positions, yes.
So you start out at a local post. Where at?
I'm from Brainerd, Minnesota.
Okay.
So I started out at my unit level 27 years ago. Then I went up through the chairs for the last 27 years.
So very, very dedicated lady here.
Yes, I love it. It's a passion for me.
It's okay. Why don't you give a shout out? Well, actually, say hi to your family members, if sir.
Okay, I'd like to say hi to Terry, Art, and Rick. I love you. Thank you for your service. And special thanks to the men and women serving in our military. We love you. We're here for you. Make sure your families know about us and what we can do to help you. Thank you. God bless you all.